As we all know, 2020 sucked in many ways. The question is, what was the cause that made it seemingly an outlier from all the other years in recent memory? Well, I have a proposal regarding this. The magnitude of the suffering in 2020 was large, so obviously it was brought on by the powerful beings we call gods, the only entities able to bring such supernatural destruction. In my analysis, the culprits are two: Apollo and Eris, also called Discord. Now you're probably asking, why am I suspecting them? Well, I'll tell you. Apollo, god of a variety of things, including music and medicine. You know what the inverse of medicine is? Correct, sickness. This god was not only capable of healing people, but also, in rarer occasions, making them ill. Example 1. During the Trojan War, Apollo was rooting for the Trojans, a lot. So much so that he brought a plague upon their enemy, the Achaeans. Now let's think, what's another word for a plague? Correct again, a pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic that hit the world in 2020 has Apollo's arrow marks all over it. He's been documented to have brought a disease upon a large number of people before, so there's reason to believe he might do it again on a larger scale. Example 2. A woman named Niobe, and her children. Apollo's mother was Leto, and Niobe once claimed to be more capable of childbearing than her. As you might expect, this angered Apollo, so in retribution he brought a sickness upon the woman's 6 sons, killing them in irony. Once again, we see the god casually raising an illness on a group of humans. The coronavirus is a virulent illness. Apollo logically seems to be the guilty party. Now for the second god, or should I say goddess, who caused chaos in 2020. This would be Eris, the goddess of discord with blood in her hair, mother of strife, among others. You may see where I'm going with this. Again, we must look at the Trojan War. Except this time, we're going to the very beginning. Enter Peleus and Thetis, a royal couple about to be wed. It's ceremony time, and all of Olympus is invited, except for Eris. Naturally, she feels a bit left out, so she decides to cause one of the most destructive conflicts of ancient Greek history. The goddess throws a golden apple into the wedding, labeled with the message that it was intended for the most beautiful person. Of course, this causes bickering between 3 goddesses, and eventually the dispute is settled by Paris, a man who is bribed by Aphrodite with the promise of the most beautiful woman on earth. He steals this woman, Helen, away from Troy, and so begins the war, in which many people are in conflict. Does human conflict sound familiar? The word protest ringing a bell? Well, unless you've been living in an unaffected area of the world, or under a rock for the last 8 months, you'll remember the abundance of protests happening for a variety of reasons. Eris seems to be quite capable of this sort of thing. Example number 2 for Eris, the story of Polytechnos and Adon. They were a mortal couple who claimed to be more in love than Zeus and Hera themselves. The goddess of marriage didn't like this, so she sent Eris to work her magic. And boy did she do her job. She presented a challenge before them. Whoever completed their current housework first would receive a female servant from the other. Polytechnos lost this bet and had a rather extreme temper, taking out his anger by raping his wife's sister and trying to pass her up as the female servants to Adon. The woman discovered what Polytechnos had done and got revenge by chopping his son into little bits and feeding the boy to his father. Afterward, the two were turned into birds by the gods. Eris managed to turn these two lovers against each other, similarly to how people of different political parties were turned against each other in 2020. This goddess has an innate ability to cause conflict and division, so there is little reason to doubt that she had a part in the events of this last year. Now, with these two gods established as the guilty parties, there is one clear solution to ensure a better year for humanity. We must increase our worshipping of Apollo and Eris in 2021 and beyond, lest they decide to create more tumultuous times for the world. I have been Ryan Krismer, and thank you for watching.